After my last competition in New York, I looked at the photos and I didn't recognize myself.
Hi everyone and welcome back. Today I want to talk to you about something I've never said out loud before. Because for last 3 years I was doing everything right on the paper. I was dancing, I was going to the gym, I was eating carefully and healthy, and my body wasn't changing like at all. And I think if you are a woman over 35, you know exactly what I'm talking about. In this video, it's 3 things. 1. Why your body stops responding even when you are doing the work. 2. What I actually found out when I tested my biology instead of pushing it. And 3. The one shift that finally changed everything. Not a diet, not a fitness challenge, something completely different.
I think the most frustrating part was that I could not explain it. I wasn't overweight, I wasn't skipping workouts, I wasn't binge eating, but I was bloated, constantly inflamed, retaining water, exhausted even after 8 hours of sleep, and the harder I pushed, the worse I felt.
After my last New York competition, I became almost obsessive about understanding what's happening inside my body. Because I didn't want to just restrict more. I didn't want to do another challenge or another cleanse. I wanted to understand why. And I think a lot of women over 30 end up in this exact place. You're functional, you look fine to everyone else, but you know something isn't right. Your body is responding differently than it used to. And nobody in the wellness world talks about this honestly, right? They just sell you another program.
Everything started with my Oura Ring. I bought it to track sleep, but what I saw in the data completely changed how I understood my own body.
My stress score was constantly in red, even on days when I felt calm, even on the rest days, even when I thought I was recovering. My nervous system was not recovering, and I started connecting the dots. Competition pressure, financial stress, because competing is expensive. And I'm honest about that. Constant travel, content creation on top of training, the performance and anxiety before every event, all of it was compounding.
And here what the research actually says. When your nervous system is stuck in survival mode, your body holds onto everything. Water, inflammation, body fat. Not because you are weak, not because you are lack discipline, because your body thinks there is a threat. And it's protecting you. I thought I had a discipline problem. What I actually had was a stress problem.
So before doing anything extreme, I decided to do the most true blood work I've ever done in my life, not a basic panel, over 100 markers, hormones, inflammation level, micronutrients, defenses, recovery markers, biological age, and I do want to be honest with you about what I found.
Overall, my body was healthy. My biological age came back as 26 and I am 35. I cried a little actually, because after 2 years of feeling like my body was failing me, that number reminded me that everything I've done for years wasn't pointless.
But the test also showed something important. My body was operating on reserves, meaning externally I was look and function fine, but internally I was slowly drawing down on resources I wasn't replenishing. Certain vitamins were low, certain inflammation markers were elevated, of course. My recovery capacity was compromised, and that's what the whole picture become clear. I didn't need to push harder. I needed to support myself better. And that's completely different strategy.
Then I went one level deeper, gut health, because honestly, my digestion has been a mess for years. Random bloating, unexplained reactions, feeling heavy after meals that should have been clean. So I did a microbiome test.
Some of the results were shocking. Rice, which everyone online calls the safest, cleanest carb, my body reacts to it with inflammation. And the tofu, on the other hand, my microbiome loves it. I had never eaten tofu in my life. Now I eat it almost every day, and the difference I feel after meal is real. So much lighter, so much healthier, and my stomach is just perfect.
And that was the biggest lesson for me. Just because something is healthy for the general population does not mean it works for your body. Women spend years forcing themselves into diets designed for someone else's biology. The answer isn't another restriction. The answer is actually understanding your own body. Before I get to my last thought, if you've ever watched my competition journey and you're curious about the dresses I wear on stage, I design and sell my own competition ballroom gowns at irinavibestar.com. Every dress you've seen me compete in, I created. Link is in the description. When I shifted focus from weight to body composition, the change finally happened. And it wasn't dramatic on the scale. I lost about 2 kilograms total. That's nothing.
My body looked completely different. My waist became smaller. My arms looked defined instead of puffy. And my posture even improved, which in a ballroom makes every line cleaner. And for the first time in a long time, I actually liked how I looked in a dancewear. Not because I became smaller, because my body started looking athletic instead of exhausted. And in a ballroom where you're standing next to girls who started training at 5 years old, that shift is how I saw myself. It changed how I moved on the floor. I still have insecurities. I still compare myself sometimes. I think every competitive dancer does. But I stopped trying to push my body into a shape it was never meant to hold. And I started treating it like a system I needed to understand, not control, understand. And if I could say one thing to every woman over 35 who is doing everything right and still feeling stuck, is this. The problem is probably not your discipline. The problem might be that your body is exhausted, and exhausted body don't transform. They survive.
Support yourself, test, don't guess, and stop following advice designed for someone else's biology.
I want to hear from you in the comments. Have you ever felt like you were doing everything right and still nothing was changing? Tell me what that looked like for you. If this video gave you something, subscribe. I share real stories, real numbers, and what actually happened behind the competition floor. And I will see you in the next one. XOXO. Bye.